Hello everybody, how you all doing today? I love to see the most prosperous countries experiencing bliss. And this is something I desire for America. This is something I desire for all the European countries. So those who know me know that I visit almost all the European countries. And when I see a lot of people who come out and tell me, Karthik, why didn't you visit our country before? Why didn't you do this workshop before? We wanted to heal these relationship issues before. I always tell them that there has to be an ecosystem that has to be designed in a specific way where joy is enabled. Now what I see is a large misuse of freedom which is happening. And that is where we have drug abusers, we have problems, we have issues, all kinds of ridiculous things happening in developed countries. See, if you're a developed country and you're a prosperous country, what should it indicate? It should indicate you must be feeling joyful, isn't it? You must feel refreshed, you must feel energized, you must feel harmonious. There should not be any kind of unrest within yourself or around you. But just let's look at the reality. Let's look at the statistics. What does the statistics say? The statistics state that over more than 50% of the youth in America are in antidepressants. A lot of people are suffering from one or the other form of mental illness. Stress is at its highest level, and I'm giving a lesser statistical percentage. The number should have only increased. And why is this happening? This is happening because a lot of people are propagating anything that they want to say. There are so many people today who are who have done meditation but still they are depressed. Who have done meditation, still they are stressed. Certain people who have done yoga, they are also stressed. Why? These are powerful tools and devices. Why are they not working? They're not working because internally there is certain relationship healing that needs to happen. We need to do a little healing to the internal wounds which have existed from the time we are born to the time that we exist. Those little shameful moments must be healed. There is a shameful impact which is congested and is deeply suppressed and has to be released in a very, very dignified way. And until we do this, there will be no possibility of releasing resentment, anger, because they're all byproducts of shame. They're all byproducts of various other things. Fear, frustration. We need to have a system where the education is progressing in such a direction where we are taught how to handle our internal states. Especially in developed countries, you people can afford it. Why is it that when a child is born, that your child is not subjected towards harmonious living? What are those communications that bring harmony? Everybody knows. Everybody knows today. But why is it not being taught? This is not being taught because a lot of people have got trapped into social loopholes which are causing misery to them. They're going behind competition, they're going behind lifestyle which means nothing to them. So many different things. They are compromising on internal states to achieve something which is giving them misery. To give you a very specific example, a person who takes a loan, buys a luxury car, and then the car gets into a small scratch, he feels sleepless. He spends sleepless nights for 2 to 3 days. There have been any number of people like this. So, what I mean to tell you is, I'm not against luxury. I drive a BMW. But I realize very, very clearly that this is not going to define me. Now, this is the freedom I want you to give yourself. This is the freedom I want you to gift yourself. This is the freedom I want you to tell yourself very, very clearly that you are interested in pleasantness. Every day in the morning, wake up and be aware of it. See, every day when you wake up, you are already supplied with so many thoughts which are self-generated. And you don't even have a control over many of the thoughts that you are creating. Do you have a control over many of the thoughts that you're creating? Just see. So this level of unconscious approach is what is leading to stressful situations. And developed nations, developed countries, be it America, be it Switzerland, be it France, be it many, many European countries, Dubai, I'm telling you, it's time that you create an ecosystem, you create an infrastructure where children, right from the time they begin to speak, realize that it's very important to communicate in harmony, and every action that they do must eventually be done in such a way that it brings pleasantness to them and to others. That should be established. Second, you need to have the right structural process where people are more aware than the traditional knowing of knowledge, than the traditional science of psychology and psychiatry. You need to have people who are very, very self-aware about them, and that's where the spiritual dimension comes into place. And this is where I invite you all to explore the ancient Indian ecosystem, ancient Indian science, which has substantial mastery over inner realities of life. Unfortunately, in this country also, we are looking at this with very little significance. And therefore, what I feel, you need to understand classical yoga, which describes about how to heal the emotional wounds of a child. So that must be established. Very clearly, that has to be established. How to heal emotional wounds. What one should do in case they encounter a kind of a stressful emotion. What are those 1, 2, 3 things? They may feel okay by, people will go for a drive, people will watch a movie, people will take a cigarette, people will smoke a cigarette, people will take alcohol. These are all very, very disastrous ways to suppress that emotions, which are again expressing themselves as chronic ailments. There's substantial medical evidence. Why can't we create a world where the developed nation becomes an example where there is nobody suffering from chronic ailments? Why can't the developed countries set an example that, hey, listen, when you are developed, when you are prosperous, you will not suffer from depression, you will not suffer from stress. And for that, it's very, very important that right from the childhood, you are creating aware, conscious thought invocations. I repeat, you are creating aware thought, powerful invocations. The intention is very, very important. How to create the right intentions within ourselves. What are those things that we can do to create the right level of intention? And why should it be cultivated? It should be wired. It should be a deep level of hypnosis that must take shape in every human being, in every human life. And then it will be such a fantastic world. This is when we will truly establish freedom. And it's high time to make this a reality. The nations who are developed can afford this. Exercise it before it becomes too late, where people are all suffering. Have a wonderful time. Thank you.